Welcome back, everybody, to Daddy's Game Time. I'm Leo, and today we're going to be talking about Daredevil Season 2, the good, the bad, and everything else. While we're going to be playing Gone Home, I'm going to be playing it for the first time here, and I'm going to try to not get too distracted while I go ahead and just give my thoughts and impressions and review about Daredevil Season 2. So let's go ahead and get started. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to be loading up the game here. Now, before we get started on the review, I just want to go ahead and explain why I chose Gone Home. Gone Home is one of those games that got many praises over the years, and it seems to be a wonderful game. And so I'm looking forward to it and seeing exactly how it plays out and all that. And everybody's been giving it pretty high reviews, pretty high marks. I think it even got a few Game of the Year nominations here and there. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it plays out. Now, I already went through the liberty of kind of getting past the introduction here and straight into the gameplay. Um, I'm still not too sure exactly what I'm supposed to do for this game. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll explore here and have some fun with it. But at the same time, we'll be talking about um, Daredevil Season 2. What's going on there? Um, First of all, I just want to say I was extremely excited for the Season 2. I had really high expectations for it. And it never really hit the mark for me. Just when I thought it was gonna get better, it kind of took a few steps back and went back to what it was doing before it got really good. So it just was kind of confusing at times, why they were taking the directions that they took with the show. Um, so we'll see. We'll talk about that as well. Um, I was very excited for it. I thought it was better than many of the things that they were doing with the Marvel movies up to that point. Up to that point, the Marvel movies had all been very popcorn movie type. Not too dark, not too serious. And so this kind of was giving it a little bit of a Dark Knight vibe, I guess you could say. He was kind of grounding his character a little bit in it could be called, true life, I guess. And so it was really almost, you could say, a breath of fresh air, where you see a truly grounded character that's from the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I thought that was really cool. I was enjoying that, um, as well as many of the other things that they did with the character. I enjoyed exploring this character that I didn't really know too much about, except for what I had seen from the Daredevil film from what was it, 2004, 2005, I believe, with Ben Affleck, which really was not a very well made film, to put it lightly. It was very, actually, poorly written, poorly scripted, and for the most part, poorly acted. A lot of the blame will fall on Ben Affleck, but I don't think he's 100% to blame for it. It's just he took on a role that's wasn't too good, and that was it. And of course, you've seen in my review of the new Batman v Superman film, he is the best part of the film. Um, and so you see a lot of the things that happened throughout the series in season one were just excellent. A lot of the character development, Much of what happened with everybody was very touching, I guess you could say, in a way. We were completely engaged to the narrative that the story was presenting to us, um, and that's where this Daredevil season 2 falters. They seemed at times to be going one direction, um, and then they kind of back up on that and go a different direction. There's no real way of talking about it except for giving out spoilers. So I'm gonna try to do um, at the beginning of this review with spoilers. Without spoilers, no spoilers. And then when I move into spoiler territory, I'll let you know. You can go ahead and click off of it if you haven't seen the review already. Seen the show already. Um, you can go ahead and just with ease go ahead and do that, and then later come back and visit this video at a later time after you've seen the TV show. So let's begin. The first few episodes of I would have to say the first quarter or first third of Daredevil season 2. And by the way, I'll just kind of be referencing it a lot, like the whole season, as if though it was just one single movie, because that's kind of like the perspective I had about it while I was playing it, or while I was watching it. I mean, um, Daredevil started off with some really cool stuff going on, um, and especially the Punisher. The Punisher storyline kind of kicked off with a bang. And it just kind of made you think of the movie John Wick, if you haven't seen that, where there's this mysterious guy that a lot of people seem to know a lot about, and some other people have no idea who this character is, and it just creates for great tension, great drama, and great curiosity. Kind of hooks you in a way, um, right from the start with that character, because you already have um, Daredevil established as a character. You know he's a lawyer. You know what he does. You know he started the his own business with his best friend, the Avocados at Law, and so it started off right where it had left off from season 1, and so you have that. Whoa, that was kind of creepy there. Not scary, but a little creepy. Why would somebody be up there um, with red lights on and the door be locked? Anyway, so back to Daredevil season 2. I did tell you I would get distracted, didn't I? So we had a lot of stuff happening where, yes, you no longer have the threat of Kingpin. However, you have a few other things that are going on in Hell's Kitchen, and he's trying to figure out how to go ahead and make things right. So we have Daredevil kind of just continuing where he left off, and he gets some new visitors at certain points, and the story starts going one way with his relationship, and then it comes another way, and then it seems like it's gonna go back to normal, kind of like to where it should be, and then it pulls back, and it just kind of like a lot of back and forth where with his relationships, and not only with his girlfriend, which happens to be also his secretary, but as well as with his best friend. And that's one of the things that endeared me to his friend a lot. And so it was really cool how he was in moments where he needed his friend there, his partner. Um, he wasn't there because he was off being the masked vigilante, Daredevil. So we had a lot of that happening where we kind of start discovering a little bit how being a masked vigilante was affecting him, and so it got a little bit overwhelming for him as the season went on. But in a way, it also seemed almost as if everything else just didn't matter so much, including his relationships with his friends. And so it just seemed a little bit too convenient, I guess. But at the same time, it kind of makes you wonder, like, well, a character like this should try to keep a normal life in order for nobody to find out what he is doing on his spare time, and so he can keep having his lifestyle as a vigilante of some sort. I feel like I'm kind of going around in circles a lot with a lot of the storyline stuff. So I'm just gonna kind of and I'm trying not to ruin it here. So I'm gonna just give my brief thoughts on what I thought of the series, give you pretty much what I think about it without really telling you what happened. So I thought the pacing from episode to episode was really off. There was not too much consistency on where some of the storylines were headed. They tried to throw a few, I guess you could say, um, they kind of tried to throw you off with a few twists here and there, but they weren't really anything memorable. So overall, I'm kind of disappointed with Daredevil season 2 because my expectations for it were so high. Um, However, it is still a good season. I still recommend you watch it if you're a Daredevil fan or just comic book fan in general. Um, However, if you're just looking for a great series to watch, you maybe should start with season 1 instead, or with another series out there. Now that there's many great series, if you haven't seen them, of course. Um, so Season 1 of Daredevil was great. This one was good. I would give it about a 7 out of 10, 10 being the best. Um, but it also did a lot of setup for another season. So I think that's where it kind of went bad in a way. Because lately I just noticed that in a lot of the entertainment outlets, especially with comic book films, there's been a lot of setting up for the next thing, for the next episode, for the next season, for the next movie, and nothing is really its own. Nothing really owns itself. I haven't seen the new film for what's his name? This other masked vigilante that has a colorful mouth, and Deadpool. I haven't seen that film. Everybody keeps telling me that it's a great film because it's a standalone film and it's not trying to set anything up, and they just kind of went for it. They just went for it all. And today it was announced that that film is the highest grossing rated R film of all time. So that's saying a lot, considering that it's really niche in a way, because rated R films don't have that easy accessibility by a lot of the people that watch movies, that like movies and that type of entertainment. Kudos to whoever made Deadpool, who just made it what it is without having to try and set up another character or another storyline. They just went for it, and that's really cool. I can't wait to see that movie. I missed it in theaters, but hopefully, it'll be coming out pretty soon for home video, and we'll see. But back to Daredevil. Um, Now, if you're watching this and you don't want spoilers, you should click off right now. Maybe put it in your favorites and come back at a later date once you have actually seen season 2 of Daredevil. Because I'm about to spoil a few things. I'm going to make it brief because I already did discuss a lot of what was going on with the pacing and all that in the film. So here we go. Ah, the Punisher. Oh, the first third of the season, which you could easily see it almost like a first act of a movie. Um, Played wonderful. They were setting up the Punisher. His storyline was a mystery. Um, everybody had some theories as to who he was, why he was doing those things, where he was coming from. He just blasted a group of like hardcore gang members um, and or drug lords or drug dealers and all that, and and he did it all by himself as a pro, and so that immediately lets you know like, wow, this guy's taking out other murderers, and he's just not like your typical good guy that's just kind of like asking questions first, then making decisions, and usually the decisions most of the good guys, the heroes in these types of storylines, usually they try to spare people's lives, and Punisher is one of those no questions asked. He knows what he's going there for. He knows what he's after, and he's gonna get it. And he's out for blood. He wants revenge. And later, as the season progresses, we find out, of course, that his family was murdered by three groups, three gangs, and he's trying to figure out who did it and just eliminate the people that are responsible for the death of his beloved family members. He had, I believe, uh, two children and his wife that he lost in that shooting at a park. So that's plenty motivation and plenty to kind of let you see that, hey, this guy means business. He kind of lost it a little bit, but being put in his position, I understand. That's pretty much the premise of why he's doing all this. So that was just a really nice touch that they did with building up his character through the first third and first third of the season, and I really really enjoyed his character. Now, while this was happening, they were kind of busy putting down the Daredevil's character, at least in my opinion, because he had this relationship with his secretary, and they were trying to keep it a secret from his best friend, which is I know professionally why he was doing that, but considering that it's his best friend, I don't understand why he wouldn't just tell him like, hey, me and her are having a relationship, and even though it was obvious, just kind of like make it official, you know. Um, of course, Foggy, which is his partner's nickname, he you know, he's a smart guy. He figures things out, and he knows that what's going on, and they're not fooling him, which it was, you know, it was cool, but at the same time kind of messed up. Why they would do this to him? Why they wouldn't just, you know, be out with it, be upfront, and they're supposed to be bros. um, so that was something. Oh, no pizza. Anyways, I'm distracted here. Um, all right, so we have that going on, and not only that, but the whole Electra coming in and kind of shaking things up a bit in his world. Electra being his old sweetheart from college, and just
Oh my god. You are so lucky you finished high school
oh
before we
wow.
moved into this house. So, it's the first day of school, and there I am, introducing myself to the class. And I say that I just moved into the house on Arbor Hill. All of a
Now we're
sudden,
getting somewhere with
every
this
kid in the
storyline.
room turns and just
I was just kind of
stares
walking
like I
around
suddenly
aimlessly,
transformed into a
and now
mutant.
we're hearing
I
some
just stood there, wishing pretty hard for a rewind button.
dialogue.
Because now maybe nobody
It's
knows my
cool.
name, but they all know
I
who I
can already
am.
I can tell that
That
this is one of
psycho
those
house
games
girl.
that requires a
Right.
lot of attention to detail and kind of like you being the person piecing things together and trying to figure out what's going on and what you're supposed to do. But anyway, back to Daredevil. Yeah, Elektra, she was a cool character. However, I don't like how they used her. I think she did a good job of what she was there to do. The actress, I mean, and Elektra, kudos. She's a kick butt character, and she did all the right things as far as the action goes and all that. But the writers with the storyline of like them always insinuating that they were maybe gonna get back together again, fight crime together, and well, they were already fighting crime together. And that's where the whole um, Asian Asian gang storyline started, and you know that was fine, but at the same time, it's kind of like, oh, okay, so they're taking it there, where to the point where they're gonna say, okay, he's gonna be starting to have sort of a love triangle type of thing going on between Elektra and his secretary, and so things kind of started to go south a little bit with the secretary. You already kind of saw the writing on the wall that things weren't gonna end well there, and so you have one relationship falling apart, and the other relationship you could tell right from the start wasn't going to be something healthy for him, and it just was projecting that way. They try to make it seem like it was going that way at first, and then somewhere in the middle it did go that way, and then they towards the end it was kind of like a slow burn when it came to that storyline. You could totally see everything coming, and it when it finally did end up happening, where Daredevil chose Elektra as his woman to be, he decided that he was gonna be with her no matter what, and this and that, and it just was a slow burn. By the time it actually happened, it wasn't interesting anymore. It was actually more disappointed in him in a way. Why he wouldn't just be a man about it and say like, okay, I'm gonna break up with my girlfriend, um, or this, even if they don't want to call each other girlfriend or whatever, but this person that he clearly has a relationship with, his secretary, and and just say, hey, I'm gonna go with someone else, and that's it. And who knows, maybe it's also just a tradition. I'm a little bit old fashioned in that sense, where where he in that case was just kind of like testing out the waters with a few different women, well in this case the secretary and Elektra, and he was kind of soul searching for a little while, but I don't know. That all just to me seems to me a little bit juvenile, and he's supposed to be a fully mature character, a full grown adult by this time, and it just seemed very, I don't know, very daytime soap opera ish. The whole time it was happening, so I never liked that part of the storyline. It could have probably been done better, and that's when during a lot of this all happened like during the second or the middle of the season. You could call it the second act if it was a movie, where at this point Punisher was put away in jail, and he was almost nowhere to be seen, and it got really monotonous, really kind of bland. because he had been up to that point the most interesting thing to be happening in the show. So you have that was happening, and okay, so we bared through the whole middle part of the show, the season, I mean, and so that kind of took away a lot from it. And then finally, we get into Punisher time again. Punisher in jail. We see Kingpin again. Oh my gosh, Kingpin is the best part of Daredevil. He makes Daredevil. Every hero needs a villain, and he Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, he's definitely one of the best villains ever created for a superhero. He's methodical, he's ruthless, and also he is physically capable of throwing down with some of these heroes. There's a scene where he throws down with the Punisher, and he actually kind of beats him down, and it's just very, very cool the way he just commanded every scene that he was in. He was the guy, he was the man, and you could tell why this actor was chosen as Kingpin. He just commands that respect when he's on screen. And so, just when you think that it's gonna go in that direction, then on the last two episodes, they kind of pull back. They go back to the whole Electro thing. They go back to the ninja. Well, the ninjas were pretty cool. I actually kind of like that. But the whole Electro thing, and him choosing her, and when it finally happened towards the end of the season, it was just kind of like, okay, finally it happened. It had to happen. It's finally over. Let's get this over with, and that's that. Uh, so that's pretty much it. I mean, I kind of glossed over a lot of the details. Um, the pacing was great. It was very interesting when you had characters like Punisher and Kingpin on screen. Even his lawyer partner Foggy. He was great on screen also with all the courtroom lawyer drama. That was great too. I really enjoyed that part of it, even though it wasn't like a lot of physical action, but that was really cool. I enjoyed that. The biggest weakness about Daredevil was Daredevil's involvement with Elektra, which should have been a point of biggest interest. But unfortunately, in at least in my opinion, in my eyes, it didn't work out too well. And oh well. Well, you try some new things. Sometimes you hit something, you're onto something, and it's great. And sometimes you miss, and that was just a miss. They did a lot of great things with season two, with the characters, with the villains, and then they also kind of dropped the ball on some of the things, such as his love triangle-ish storyline thing, whatever you want to call it, with Elektra and his secretary. I wish I could remember her name right now. I just can't. I'm so sorry about that. But hey, I just want to say it was still fun. I still recommend it if you saw season one and you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the film. Um, let's see. I really enjoyed the season two of Daredevil. I think it was well done in the beginning and well done towards the end. It's just the middle, and then the last two episodes were very anticlimactic and just very uninteresting. I'd like to hear other people's thoughts on this. I want to know if it's just me that my standards or my likes, my tastes for this type of action are maybe focused somewhere else, or I want to find out if you also share the same opinion as I have. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. I want to see your comments. I want to hear what you have to say, and Thanks for watching Daddy's Game Time, and if you want to be the first to see our newest videos, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. You can also find us on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at keyword Daddy's Game Time. Or just visit our website at daddysgametime.com. If you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Leo, and remember, enjoy your games and love your families.